Hey y'all, welcome back to me Mom's house. Today I'm bringing something special to the table, an old school Sunday dinner, just like many of us grew up with. You know, the kind that the house smells amazing, the table is full, and everyone gathers together to slow down and enjoy a real home cooked meal. Today I'm cooking for my sister and my brother-in-law and the whole family. And on the menu, we've got a true comfort food spread, a classic homemade meatloaf, creamy mashed potatoes, seasoned green beans, warm hot rolls fresh from the oven, and we're finishing it off with a beautiful pound cake for dessert. Now, you'll see that pound cake in another video. But if you love simple, hearty meals that bring people together, you're in the right place. I believe Sunday dinners are more than just food. They're about family, memories, and keeping those traditions alive. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable. Let's get in the kitchen and bring back the tradition of a good old-fashioned Sunday dinner. I'm going to get my apron on so we can get to cooking. We're going to start our Sunday dinner by making our hot rolls. You know, the hot rolls is the first thing that you make and the last thing that you pull out of the oven because we want them nice and warm. But they do take some time to rise. So we're going to start by blooming our yeast. Yeast in warm water with its food, the sugar. So we want these rolls a little bit on the sweeter side, so I did add a little bit more sugar this time. I'm going to get this stirred up, and then we'll let it sit for about 10 minutes because this is active yeast. It's not the quick yeast, so I'm going to let it sit so that it can bloom. Now, once it has bloomed and you'll see the bubbles on top, you go ahead and you can add your flour. And then I usually add my salt within my flour, just on top of my flour, because the salt seems to slow down the growth of the yeast. So I don't like to add it directly to the yeast. I add it to my flour. Let's get this mixed in. Then I will add my other ingredients. And when I say other ingredients, I mean some melted butter. And I've actually melted this a few minutes ago and let it cool because I don't want it to be too hot for my yeast. So I'm going to add the rest of my flour and my melted butter and get this stirred in well. Now that my dough is completely mixed, I'm going to go ahead and flour my surface and then get it kneaded together. And I'll knead it for a few minutes until it's nice and pliable. Now this nice and smooth, I can go ahead and oil my bowl, and I'm going to oil it with just a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to put my dough in and flip it over so that both sides can have oil on it so that it won't dry out. And then for further protection from drying out, I will go ahead and cover it with a clean tea towel. And I'll leave it sitting here for about an hour until it rises or doubles in size. And it has done so. So we're going to go ahead and punch it down. They call it punching down, but I don't punch it. I just push it on down. But once it's deflated, then I can get my hot rolls all sectioned out. And I actually eyeball it and pinch off the amount that I want my roll to be, like my mama did. And if you want yours to be more specific and the equal size to each other, you can measure it out and divide it up. I don't have time for all that. This is a Sunday dinner. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm trying to fix something tasty. So let's go ahead and get these rolled out. Now, once the rolls are divided, we're going to go ahead and cover it with that tea towel one more time. I'm going to do another pan of it and then allow both to rise for an hour. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking the rest of my dinner. We'll start with making our green beans. Now, my green beans will actually have bacon in it. I'm going to brown some bacon. And you can use smoked turkey or anything, any type of meat, or no meat at all if you'd like, and just season it the way you normally would season. But I'm going to chop up my bacon, put it in the pan, brown it just a little bit, and then we'll get our green beans in as well with some garlic and some onion. Now, I'm using canned green beans today. You can use fresh green beans, parboil them, cook them, whichever way you'd like. But we putting green beans on the table today. Now that we got our bacon in the pan and that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some onion. Now I'm going to cut up my whole onion because my meatloaf calls for some onion, some chopped onion, and I'm going to add some onion to my green beans. Also, I'm going to cut up green pepper while I'm chopping my veggies. I might as well cut them all up at the same time. And you know that I keep some chopped garlic in my refrigerator anyway, just for a time such as this. So let's get our green pepper chopped up because that's going into my meatloaf as well. Now that I've chopped up the veggies and I've actually now added those onion to half of the onions to the green beans. The green beans are in the pot with the bacon. I'm adding my garlic and we're going to let that simmer for about 15 minutes. In the meanwhile, we can go ahead and get our meatloaf set up. And you saw in a pan adjacent to my green beans, I'm cooking some cauliflower because we're going to have mashed potatoes as well as mashed cauliflower because me and Peepaw are trying to be good about eating our carbohydrates or not eating carbohydrates. So I'm going to make some mashed cauliflower as well as mashed potatoes because just because we're not eating mashed potatoes or potatoes doesn't mean that we can't feed it to somebody else. Now, if you want to eat mashed potatoes, that's beautiful. I'm not going to judge you, and you can come to my house and still have some. Anyway, I have just added some Lipton onion soup mix, the dry mix. I'm doing 2 of them because I have 2 pounds of ground beef in my bowl. And then I'll go ahead and add all the rest of my veggies, and we'll get this stirred together. Also to my meatloaf mixture, I'm going to add 2 eggs and my half a cup of oatmeal. The eggs will bind the mixture together and the oatmeal will actually make it a little bit lighter. It won't be as tight a meatloaf mixture. I like for my meatloaf to have a little bit of give, and that's what we're going to get with the oatmeal. And it's better for me than just plain flour. So let's get our oatmeal in and then get everything mixed together. And since that's all mixed together, I'm going to get me a 9 by 13 Pyrex dish and we'll grease that dish. I don't want it to stick too badly to the dish because cleanup has to be easy. I'm going to get this all pulled together and shaped into a loaf shape and get it in the oven. Before I get it into the oven, I'm going to make a gravy or a topping for my meatloaf. We like a tomato-based topping, so I'm going to use canned soup, just a regular old Campbell's can of tomato soup, add a little mustard and some brown sugar. And because I have such a big meatloaf, I have so much meat, I want to use 2 cans of that soup. After I mix this, I'm going to taste just a little bit to make sure that it has enough seasoning in it, is salty enough, is sweet enough, and we're going to pour this over our meatloaf. We're going to put this in a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. Now, while I was mixing up my meatloaf, and now that that's in the oven, I can go ahead and take care of my cauliflower. Was boiling some cauliflower in salted water while my meatloaf was getting stirred together. But now I'm going to add a little bit of cream cheese, about a half a block, which is about 4 ounces of cream cheese, and then a little bit of heavy whipping cream if I need to thin it out a little bit. We'll see after I get things started here. I'm going to use my immersion blender and just get this all mixed together and softened for my mashed cauliflower. Now I'm going to blend this for 2 or 3 minutes until it's nice and creamy and it doesn't have a lot of lumps in it. I want to make sure that all of my cauliflower has been blended. And it has. You see how creamy it was? It does not need the heavy whipping cream because it's creamy enough by itself. I'm going to salt and pepper it and add a little bit of butter, because you know what I do with a little butter. I love a little butter, okay? Now I'm going to serve this up. I'm just going to put it in a decorative bowl to put on my table, but I'm going to let it sit here and stay warm on my warming eye on my stove. Now that that's in the bowl and ready to be served, I'm going to go ahead and put my already peeled and chopped potatoes into my boiling water so that they can cook and I can make my mashed potatoes. And of course, you've seen me make mashed potatoes before. We get them all cooked up and we get them mashed like I did the cauliflower. In the meanwhile, Peepaw is frying Noah some hamburgers, because you know Noah is our boy who does not eat everything the rest of us eat. But I just pulled a little bit of the hamburger out of the package and made him 2 patties so that he can have a couple of cheeseburgers, because he is a growing boy and he will eat both of those cheeseburgers. So I don't mind cooking extra stuff for him because I know he'll eat it, as long as it's something that he normally would eat. So back to my mashed potatoes. I put a little bit of butter in, and I'm going to use the same immersion blender. You know, we washed him up and got him all ready again. And we're going to mash up the mashed potatoes. I will add some milk to this, season it with salt and pepper, and keep it moving so we can get our dinner on the table. Now the mashed potatoes are done. His cheeseburgers are done too. Let's get the potatoes put into a serving bowl. The mashed potatoes is the last thing that needs to be fixed. So now it's time to set the table. And I'm going to get Peyton to go ahead and get my table set. with my placemats and my chargers and all of the things. So let's get the table set and we'll be able to serve our guests when they arrive. Now the meatloaf is done and I'm going to take it out of the oven and let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes before I put it on the table. In the meanwhile, our hot rolls are ready to go into the oven, and I've increased my oven temperature to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and they will bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. The hot rolls are done. The kitchen smells fabulous because baking bread is the best smelling thing for me. I'm going to get these out and get some butter on it. We got to smear it with a little bit of butter, and then we'll get them to the table. Our family have arrived, and we're ready to get them in and get them ready to eat. We're going to wait for Brianna. She'll be here in just a few minutes, but we'll go ahead and have our meal, and hopefully you will enjoy a little bit of the fellowship. And here's the view of our dinner table. Peepaw made a little sweet tea, and we had some water, and we had lemon condensed milk pound cake for dessert. I'll link that above for you. In the meanwhile, let us pray and we can eat. Well, that's our Sunday dinner for today. A full table of meatloaf, creamy mashed potatoes, green beans, hot rolls, and of course, that sweet pound cake to finish it all off. There's something special about sitting down to a home-cooked meal with the people you love. These old school Sunday dinners may seem simple, but they create some of the best memories. I really enjoy bringing these traditions back and sharing them with my family and with you. If you enjoyed spending time in the kitchen with me today, make sure you like this video. Leave me a comment and tell me what your favorite Sunday dinner was growing up. I'd love to hear about the meals and tradition your family shared. And if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button so you can join me for more home cooking, family meals, traveling, and bringing back those good old-fashioned traditions. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.